Okay guys, welcome again to my YouTube channel. This is Dr. Matox. Okay, today we're going to be considering a very important topic. Yeah. And that is enuresis.
Enuresis.
Okay, so before we go straight into what we have today,
Enuresis.
I want to drop in the comment section the age at which you stopped enuresis.
Enuresis.
Nocturnal micturation. Just drop it there. I'll tell you mine. Okay, welcome back. Okay, so let's do a little bit introduction to what enuresis is all about. So another term for enuresis can also be called nocturnal micturation, and bedwetting. Bedwetting is the most common what people call enuresis. Okay, and enuresis can be defined as process of urination involuntarily during the night period, during sleep, or for children mostly. Okay, so there are also different factors that contribute to prolongment of enuresis till adulthood life. So many cases like kidney disease, urinary incontinence, and a lot of them like that. So but today we will actually be talking about the span of enuresis during childhood life, of what's the cause of enuresis in children, why those children urinate in the night without their involuntarily. Okay, it's due to the fact that during development of human being in the embryo, while they are still in the mother's womb, all the system of the body, the nervous system, the GIT, all the system of the body are already established before giving birth to. So the nerves of the body are already developed before the birth, but the myelination, there's what we call myelination of nerve fibers, myelination of nerve fibers. So there's this kind of special cells that surrounds nerve fibers, myelinate them, the drop sign kind of lipid substance around them. This deposition of these cells in the peripheral nervous system, it is called the Schwann cell, while in the central nervous system it's called oligodendrocytes. Okay, the work of these things, this myelination, these actions, is just to to increase the velocity of the conduction of impulse. So it increases the rate of it and improves motor reaction. So during intrauterine life, sensory nerve fibers are myelinated, and the last to be completed is the motor neuron. So the cause of enuresis in children is due to the fact that the motor neurons that are supplying their urinary bladder, is unmyelinated until the age of 3. So it is physiologically okay for enuresis to happen between the age of birth till 3-year-old. But unfortunately for some of us, it exceeded that time of 3 years. Okay, so I'm going to grab some TikTok advice right now.
Yes, I do, but first of all, I really want to normalize this. This is a topic that's particularly close to my heart because I wet the bed until I was in my teens, and it really affected me as a kid. Now, personally, I wouldn't expect a child under the age of 5 to consistently be dry at night. It's also a hereditary condition. It definitely was for me.
Okay, yeah, this lady mentioned that her own enuresis extended to when she was a teenager. Yeah. In my own case, I think I stopped enuresis at the age of 13, and I was in JSS 3 at that time. You can't even tell your friend that I am still weeing on my body. It's kind of very funny. So there are some cases where because after the age of 3rd year, while myelination is completed, there is this kind of, because the reflex for micturition, that's what we call micturition reflex, is the bladder. When the bladder is full up to like 400-500 mil, there's this kind of receptors in the lining of the wall of the bladder. It is called the stretch receptors. So the stretch receptors, they carry afferent fibers to the sacral segment, or which is the center of micturition reflex. It does not communicate with the central center for micturition. So when you are above this age, you have to start learning how to respond to these things and connect it. You have to, it's just like a learned skill, how to control your brain. So many of us doesn't really learn the control on time, and you know, some factors also responds to it.
At 7, I'd start thinking about mentioning it to the GP because they might need to be seen by the Enuresis clinic. I went to one. Little things that you can do, obviously limit the amount of liquid they consume a couple of hours before they go to bed. Then go to the toilet before bed and stay there for a while, like books on the toilet, just so that they can really empty their bladder. You can also then do the dream wee, which is the child will probably be asleep for a good couple of hours or so before their parents are going to go to bed. So when the parents go to bed, they should get the child up and take them to the toilet just to really make sure that bladder is empty. And then it goes without saying, you do not humiliate that child if they do have an accident. We already feel it.
Okay, that's a very important part of it, because there are some cases where this nocturnal micturition called enuresis happens because of psychological factors. So for example, a child is afraid of, there is a spirit that is under the bed. You know, there's this common thing, they tell the child that there is a spirit under the bed. So it does not really advise them to wake up in the middle of the night when they are full, or when their bladder is full. If you give a child kind of mindset like, you know, you're already a big boy, you have to stop doing this, you know, that consciousness will be there, that it will be in that condition to react to it faster than when he's having a negative cycle. For example, mine experience, and I think it's kind of very, very popular experience, whenever I want to, enuresis want to happen, like bedwet, I have this kind of dream, like like I'm pressed in that dream and I'm urinating in the gutter, or I'm urinating in the toilet. But I just urinate in that gutter or that bathroom, I wake up and I find the bed wet. Surprisingly, yeah, that's how it happens. But that was how I actually learn how to my brain learn that this is the time you are pressed, this is the time to go to the bathroom. So when I was so intentional about it, that I want to really stop this thing, anytime I dream that I'm pressed in my dream and I'm about to urinate in the gutter, or I'm about to urinate in the bathroom, there's a kind of, remember, an alarm that, you know, rings in my head that no, you must not urinate on the bed today. So that's basically how I learned it. So it happened in this fashion. Exactly. Okay, so that's exactly the way it happens then. So I just developed myself, and I get to understand that anytime whatsoever it is, even if it is fake, that I'm in the dream and I'm dreaming about being pressed and I'm about being urinating, I just jack off from the sleep immediately.
Home remedy of bedwetting. Bedwetting is a common concern among parents of school-going children. Many children begin to wet their beds involuntarily at the age of 3 years up to the age of 15 years. Do you know that honey is an effective home remedy for bedwetting? A spoon of honey before going to bed works like magic. The honey draws all the fluids and holds it. Try.
Oh, that's gross. Okay, the thing about honey and bedwetting, the medicine is kind of broad, so as a medical student I can't really have an authoritative say on this. I'm still subjected to corrections. So, but I understand that honey is mainly contains, like, its main constituents, it's fructose and glucose, and in the metabolism of fructose, most fructose will eventually be converted to glucose, I think the polyol pathway. So when there is sex, when you take much honey or just a little drop of honey, especially for diabetic patients, the symptom of diabetes mellitus is polyuria, polydipsia. Polydipsia means taking too much water, polyuria is too much urination. So especially in the diabetic patients, when you take honey, it's like it's increasing the level of glucose in your body, and there will be a lot of urine due to the fact that there will be elevated glucose level, and glucose will be found in the urine. And where glucose is found in the urine, because it increases the osmolarity, so it tends to draw water along with it in the urination, so there will be a lot of water urination. So I don't actually think that is right. If you have an issue like that, maybe till adulthood, you want to persist to adulthood, or you just want to stop it for your child, then I would advise you go to a doctor.
Do you have a bedwetter?
I'm gonna tell you a little something that's gonna change your life.
First off, they are not wetting the bed because they think it's fun to swim around in their own urine throughout the evening. Most bedwetting happens because of constipation. Yes, you heard me right. Even though your kid is pooping every single day, they can still be constipated.
Okay, concerning the constipation theory, I don't really know much about that, but I made a little research on that. Anatomically, you discover that the rectum is located immediately behind the urinary bladder. So when the rectum is actually full, like rectum is like a temporal place where feces is stored. When the rectum is distended, it pushes against the posterior wall of the urinary bladder, and once it's pressing against that, there will be a lot of pressure inside the bladder and stimulate the stretch receptors and then to the sacral center, and micturition can occur in the middle of the night, so it's kind of a little bit related. Okay, let's look at a special case of a woman with a child.
Good morning, everyone. I need some help. So one of the issues that we have with Owen is leaking in the middle of the night through his diaper. Because of his size, he doesn't fit in regular diapers. He is in pull-ups. But what we have had to do is double pull-up him and put a charcoal pad insert and still change him midway through the night because he leaks every time. So I'm at my wit's end because this is what we're dealing with. So to try and protect the sheets, we have this many layers. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Still went through to that. Waterproof sheet, quilt, doubled. Does anyone out there have a solution? I am at my wit's end. I can't. We change them in the middle of the night and it doesn't matter.
But I cut across a device that might really be of help if you can get it.
So here's how it works. It's actually pretty simple. It comes with 2 separate parts. It has this alarm unit, and then it has a little sensor kind of clip. And this would clip to the inside of your child's underwear, right where the pee would come out first. You can kind of approximate. And then the alarm portion also comes with a clip that you can clip onto either their shirt collar, or it comes with a strap so you can strap it to their arm, and that keeps it secure in place overnight. And then when your little one starts to pee in the night, it's very sensitive, so it'll pick up even the slightest drop of wetness.
Oh.
And it alarms. And bedwetting alarms are actually one of the most efficient ways to treat bedwetting for.
Okay, I personally think this is gonna be a very good way to train your child to learn how to voluntarily control nocturnal micturition, that's enuresis. So that's basically the little we're going to be looking at today on bedwetting. Enuresis extend to adulthood. I've said it over and over again. Just visit your medical doctor. I'm not a doctor already. I'm still a med student. See you next time. If you like this video, please give it a thumb up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell to be notified to get updated whenever I drop my new videos. Okay, thank you very much. I love you guys. See you next time.